And welcome back to the Hotline, where we are looking at qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix and asking, is it over now? Is it finally over for Lando Norris's World Championship chances? So is it over? Short answer, no. Long answer, it may well be. A lot of it, really, to be fair, depends on how this race goes. If Max Verstappen, for example, wins it, Lando Norris gets no points. That's 25 points. I think he can kind of kiss it almost goodbye. See it in the far distance. Needs a miracle. But anyway, let's get into qualifying, and what a qualifying session it was. As we went into there, we had absolutely no idea, as per the last few races, who was going to get pole. Now, 3 or 4 races ago, I think no one thought you'd have a 1-3 for Ferrari, but that is exactly what we've got for Azerbaijan. So well done, Charles Leclerc. Alongside him is Oscar Piastri. Yes, the one McLaren that did make it out of Q1. Shock horror. We'll get into that in a bit. Also, Carlos Sainz, Perez is 4th. Russell, Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso, Colapinto out qualifying Alex Albon. I think Alex can probably blame his mechanics for that. 11th, Oliver Behrman, Tsunoda, Gasly, Hulkenberg, 15th, Stroll, 16th, Ricciardo, 17th, Norris, 18th, Bottas, 19th, Ocon, and 20th, Zhou. We'll get into the individual ones in a moment, but here I thought this bit was it's fairly interesting when you have a look at it. It is the top 10 sector times. And, Perez Sector 1, Sector 2 was all about Charles Leclerc, Sector 3 was all about Fernando Alonso, but the ideal lap being very much a Leclerc lap, ideally with obviously Piastri in second. Perez didn't really do that bad a job, did he? But Sainz not doing a bad job either for Ferrari, ending up qualifying in 3rd position. What I think was funny here, we'll get into Lando Norris, as I said, but this is what Autosport shared on social media, which I'd like to share with you. What happened? The same thing that happens every Saturday, says Lewis Hamilton. Yeah. So, what Friday's car, Saturday's car, what is going to be Sunday's car? Hopefully, something good. Fingers crossed, maybe. So, I just want to get into driver by driver then, shall we? So, and when I say driver by driver, let's have a look at who did well, who maybe did not so well at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix qualifying. So we're going to go for kind of like the back of the grid, shall we? So who qualified last? Well, it's going to be a Sauber, isn't it? It's going to be a Sauber. It is not the Sauber of Bottas. It is Zhou Guanyu, who for whatever reason doesn't really want to appear. There he is. Not very good at all. No, big disappointment for you. But interestingly, it wasn't. They don't share the back of the grid completely, because it is the Alpine of Esteban Ocon that shares the back of the grid with them in 19th. Yeah, I think I still don't know what went wrong. Either a mistake, because he was going really, really slow, he hit something, or there was something wrong with the car. But either way, yeah, not particularly looking good there. So next up then, we have starting in 18th and not on the back row, so he's got to be quite happy about that, Mr. Bottas. Now, a lot of people are saying that Bottas, this will be his last season in Formula 1. So the Stake Sauber team are looking at other people, which is quite sad really in a way. Once again, I think he's the best guy for the job next year because of experience. You're not going to need a hot shot runner necessarily in Audi's unofficial first year, which is next year, because they don't take over supposedly till 2026. So yeah, I just say keep with him. I mean, it is one of the worst cars. So we're going to talk about 17th place now, and this is a person that I thought would never be talking about 17th place, Lando Norris. Now, what on earth went wrong with Lando Norris? I mean, it's just I was absolutely shocked. But Planet F1 do have an article that may well be able to help us as to what went wrong with Lando Norris. So, Lando Norris title bid not over, they say, as Red Bull Azerbaijan Grand Prix suffer theory emerges. So, yeah, he received encouragement from Jacques Villeneuve after his major qualifying setback. Yes, Jacques Villeneuve said something nice about someone. It does happen. As he tipped Red Bull to suffer with their rear wing. So Norris, as we know, he went to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend with McLaren confirming that they're backing him in the title fight against Max Verstappen, having reduced the points, I think, from 80-something to 62. And Norris is going to start all the way down in 17th, it says. Yes, on a weekend where it was put to the 97 world champion and Sky F1 pundit, Villeneuve, that Norris kind of seemed a bit out of sorts. He was almost speechless come that interview. However, Verstappen starts P6. Villeneuve does not believe that Norris' setback is necessarily a title push ending moment. He says he knows he has a quick car and he knows Red Bull will suffer in a straight line with a big wing. Max is starting 6th, so he could have an issue at the start. Not finish the first lap, not score any points. Lando finishes 7th or 8th, scores a few points, so it's not over in the championship battle. If Verstappen wasn't pole, then it would be a different story. And I think, absolutely fair play. Absolutely fair play to Jacques Villeneuve. I can't disagree with him there. Yeah, well done. Well done, Jacques there. And when speaking about Norris, this is why McLaren were puzzled by the yellow flag that ruined Norris's qualifying. This is on racefans.net. So McLaren principal Andrea Stella said his team asked for the FIA for an explanation for the yellow flag that ruined Norris's qualifying session. He was eliminated from Q1 after being forced to abandon his final lap, having caught the slow-moving whoopsie-daisy Esteban Ocon at the exit of turn 16, so towards the end of the lap. Entering the final 4 minutes of Q1, Norris sadly was in 8th position, just ahead of Oscar. He left the pit lane with 2 minutes remaining, directly behind his teammate. Norris prepared himself, because we all got to prepare now for these outlaps, for these delicate jelly tyres, for the middle sector. Now, Ocon was on several drivers. Was one of several drivers pushing in the first sector. At the exit turn 4, Ocon hit the wall. Oh, there we go. Outside with his left rear wheel, puncturing his tyre. Almost crashed and thawed at turn 6 moments later, but was told, try and keep it going if you can, Esteban. And at around the same time, Norris was beginning his final push lap. He was warned by race engineer to be mindful of debris at turn 6 and turn 7. Not sure where. The yellow flag was initially shown as Ocon slowed before turn 7, but he was covered by a white flag. Norris has now completed the opening 2 sectors of the laps at this time and was 0.8 of a second up on his previous time and just over a second quicker than that what would eventually turn out to be the cut-off time for Q2. That's Fernando Alonso in 15th. But as Norris went round that turn 16, he ran wide onto the curb. It wasn't immediately clear whether he'd gone beyond track limits, which would lead, but I mean, he messed up anyway, didn't he? But at the same time, the timing system indicated a yellow flag due to Ocon's slow-moving car, the exact section of the circuit Norris was travelling through. As Norris ran at turn 17, an LED marshal's board at turn 18 appeared to be flashing green, but may have appeared yellow from a distance in the evening light. However, Norris could have reasonably assumed that the green flag ahead meant it was yellow. I had a yellow flag, he told Joseph. Can I go again or not? No, we have to box. When Norris turned to the garage, Joseph, mate, sorry, they shouldn't have done that. Yeah. He did have, I mean, to be fair, it depends when, because when Norris went wide, he went over the curbs. So Norris went over the curbs, and he would have lost a lot of time, because that was the last turn. If you go back to our qualifying thing, he went over the curbs, and that's the last time you essentially brake and accelerate out of a corner, because after that you are absolutely going gangbusters for the rest, for the rest of the time. I might be able to. Do we have? If we've got the onboard replay here, no, we don't have it. No. Okay, never mind. So moving on. So that's all of that. And we've only just spoken about the guy in 17th place. So who then is 16th? Well, it's Daniel Ricciardo. Another disappointment for Daniel Ricciardo. Just as we were going into this weekend thinking he's finally, got Tsunoda's, got the answer to a Yuki Tsunoda, and then that happens. So Ricciardo, that's kind of disappointing. Also, equally, well, do I want to say disappointing? Unsurprising, I'll say the next one. Let's go with unsurprising, shall we? Is this man here, the man that's going to be designing his car as Adrian Newey, is he worthy of it? No. Moving on. Next up, we have in 14th, and this was a bit interesting, it's one of the Hasses, but not the Haas you'd probably assume. We'd all think, Oliver Behrman, well done, 14th. But no, it's Nico Hülkenberg in 14th. Yeah, what is up with that? Well done, Ollie Behrman, for out-qualifying your teammate. And he out-qualified, not just I wouldn't say fairly solidly, but it was a statement. But we're not going to get into Ollie Behrman yet, because the guy that qualified 13th is another Frenchman. You've guessed it. It's this man here, Pierre Gasly. He's going to be smiling much better than Esteban Ocon, who's leaving the team. So brilliant. So in 12th, we have the man that Daniel Ricciardo should have beaten, but this guy does want to beat Daniel Ricciardo. It's a fight for the future. Yeah, I know Yuki Tsunoda's got his Red Bull seat, Red Bull RB seat, and I still think Tsunoda, given a good performance here and for the rest of the season, could potentially still has a chance to get that Red Bull seat. I think so anyway. So, but in 11th is this man here. I've got him in the Ferrari outfit, sadly, but it is Oliver Behrman in the Haas. Yeah, ignore that. The Ferrari, like Ollie Behrman in the Haas. Absolutely fantastic. Love it. 11th. He was really annoyed. He was on the cool down lap. He was like, he even smacked the steering wheel. He was so cross. He couldn't do any better. But well done, Ollie Behrman. Full respect there. Now we're going to get into our top 10. And Alexander Albon just about made it into the top 10 by finishing 10th. There we go. But this is surely one of Williams' best qualifying sessions when you look at both drivers. So 10th. Why is he 10th? Well, he was not able to have a fast lap in a decent chance in Q3 because I don't know what was going on in Williams, but they left kind of the fan on in the airbox above Albon's head. He had to stop. I mean, if he went with that, it would either rip off or with no fast air going in, because it would have blocked something off and maybe he would have lost the engine, which really, really sucks. But there we go. Alex Albon, absolutely. Given the circumstances, I think the fact that he's in the top 10 is brilliant. And this guy here out-qualified Alexander Albon, which is even brillianter, if that's even a word. Franco I'm going to get your name wrong. Calapinto, wow. And is he showing everyone, maybe someone should think about signing me. He was 9th in a Williams, in a car that, let's be honest, is could be the second worst car on the grid. We know they had a weight problem. Have they improved it? Have they reduced a lot of weight? Maybe. But still, absolutely fantastic for him. Also, I think this guy here, Fernando Alonso, wow, isn't he back? Just like Sergio Perez. We're still struggling in 15th, and it's been near him. Alonso qualifying 8th, getting in that top 10. Really, really important. Well done, Fernando. I think he outperformed the car today. There, full stop. Is it because Adrian, now he knows Adrian knew he's going there, he cares more? Has that reignited Fernando? Well, something needs to reignite this guy here. Absolutely. I mean, he's not happy about qualifying at all. Same, happens every Saturday. Conspiracy theorists, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe he's not as fast over one lap as he used to be in the race. Absolutely. Still one of the best of the current grid. But 7th is Lewis Hamilton. Bit disappointing, really, I think, for him. However, as we know, it is Baku. I think you can win from anywhere on the grid here with safety cars, etc. It could be one of those crazy races. So anything goes. But in 6th, we all thought Red Bull were back. Yeah, they are, in a way, maybe, but it's Max Verstappen in 6th. Now, as Jack Villeneuve spoke about, we know that the Red Bull do have more rear wing. That a lot of that shows because they're so good in the twisty-turny corners, which is pretty much Sector 2. However, but, will that be good enough for the race? Slow in a straight line, not too bad if you're looking after your tyres. But are Red Bull then gambling on the fact that, with the tyre deg, they're going to be the best with that downforce, looking after their tyres and then sprinting to the front? It may well be. But Max Verstappen, he'll be quite disappointed to be beaten by Sergio Perez. Equally with Lewis Hamilton being beaten by this man here, George Russell. Although I'm gonna keep refreshing the feed because at the time of recording, no, nothing's happened yet. George Russell, supposedly his qualifying could be in question because of a yellow flag incident, I think in Q1. So, and as for Pierre Gasly, that too, something to do with their fuel. Or the fuel flow, so we don't know. Fingers very much crossed there, but we go now from George of the Russell, who qualified 5th, to the man that just finished outside the top 3, but he's back. Sergio Perez qualifying 4th. Well done. Boy, does this guy need a good start and a good race, I think, still to save his career. One swallow doesn't make a summer, but you're on the right path, Mr. Perez. Keep going. That's all I can say to save your career. Keep going, Checo Perez. So let's talk about the guy in 3rd. I mean, yeah, not too bad. To be fair, I thought he was going to beat Leclerc because it was Charles Leclerc having all those issues. But a Carlos Sainz starting third, well done, fantastic. And in second place is Lando Norris's teammate, Oscar Piastri. So we know how fast that McLaren is. And in the hands of them in the Australian, I think Leclerc is going to have a face full of McLaren in the first few laps. That's going to be really, really interesting. And as I said, Charles Leclerc, I think it's his fourth pole here now, most successful poleman guy at the circuit in terms of qualifying. But he's never won. That's the thing. So can he? I mean, they say third time lucky. This is going to be fourth time lucky. Can he win? I think absolutely he can, but it's not going to be easy. I think he needs a little luck. Where will there, if there are safety cars? And people have been going off left, right and centre. So I do think there will be safety cars here at some point. So is Charles Leclerc going to win? You got to say he's been good all weekend. Fast all weekend, but erratic all weekend in terms of making a few whoopsies. So is Charles Leclerc, I'd say he's just about favourite. Piastri just about second favourite. A cigarette paper between the two of them. A lot of it is going to depend on the start, isn't it? And what will Norris do at the start? And he never gets good starts, does he? So fingers crossed. It's not boring anyway, is it? Let's be honest. It's most certainly not boring. So if you like what you see, please give us a subscribe. That will be absolutely fantastic. Hit that notification button so you do not miss a video. We'll speak to you soon. This has been the Baku qualifying session. Speak soon. Stay safe.